Hey, welcome to Weekly Wisdom. My name is Ashleigh D. Johnson, and I'm a business astrologer located in the glorious city of Chicago, Illinois. And my job is to give you the cosmic cheat code for the week. So let's get started. So, when I do weekly wisdom, I like to give an overview of the week. And then I also, by each day, I like to go in detail with what's happening with the moon and any other planetary trends. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's in store for the week ahead for you guys. So, let's get going. All right, so I use my planetary planner. We're just going to kind of do this guerrilla style. And so, let's get started with just kind of the energy and the vibe of what's been going on lately. Um, Dealing with all of the crazy changes that have been going on lately, especially just within the news, a lot of the bombings and the attacks and all of the political issues going on right now. It's a crazy, crazy time, and this week is really no exception. This week is kind of going to be a bit of a kick in the pants a little bit. Just the opportunity for us to really start moving into the new direction that we want to go in and finding a way to integrate everything that we've learned over pretty much the rest of the last, what, 8, 9 months of this year. I mean, this year has been really, really crazy. Like, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but it's been totally nuts for me. And it's really kind of revolutionized the way that I, see and do everything. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Um, so let's get going with everything for the beginning of the week, shall we? So, starting with Monday. So, tomorrow, Monday, the 22nd, it kicks off with the moon, quincunx, Venus, and Virgo. So, with that particular placement, quincunx, first of all, is the aspect of adjustment. So I'm going to try to keep the astro lingo down to a minimum for those of you who aren't really familiar. But for those who are interested in learning more about astrology, you'll definitely do a bit of that with me for sure, because I like to teach as I go. So with Moon and Aries, quincunx, Venus. So that's about basically how does the new you fit into what you want to do? How does the new you fit into what you want in your relationships? You have to do a standards check. So Monday is going to be about doing a standards check. The people that you're dating, do you like them? Do they like you? Like, do they fit your criteria? Are they the kind of person that you really see yourself, uniting with? Like, do they, have what it takes? Do they have the range? And you may have to make some adjustments because you're a new person. You've gone through a lot over the past year, and you're not the same person you were, early this year, or sometimes even a few months ago, or even a few weeks ago, or even yesterday. We're always changing, we're always evolving, we're always growing. So, tomorrow you're going to be thinking about, like, who am I and how does that fit into who I'm currently dating? Um, and then we have Mercury conjunct Jupiter. So both of them are in Virgo right now. Mercury rules Virgo. So Mercury is pleased as punch to be in Virgo, and Jupiter is in Virgo, is answering to that Mercury in Virgo. So very, very, very clear communication. So if you are interested in this is driving me crazy. Can't take it. Okay. If you're interested in being very clear about what you're saying, how you're saying, and who you're saying it to, that's all going to get a boost tomorrow for sure. Mercury is conjunct Jupiter at 5:05 a.m. Eastern Time. All the times I'm giving you are Eastern Time, just so you know. Um, and Mercury conjunct Jupiter is going to help you see the big picture. It's going to, expand your mindset and help you focus on details. Although Jupiter doesn't like focusing on details, Jupiter is very much about abundance and grandeur and expansion and all of that. But when it's in Virgo, it can't help but focus on the details, even though, like, doesn't really want to do it. But focusing on the details is really what's going to help you get to where you need to be. The devil is in the details. Trust me, I know, because getting this video going, I had to go through a ton of details that I was not even expecting. And especially since Mercury is entering its storm. And basically what that means is kind of Mercury starts to slow down before it retrogrades. And, kind of shit kind of starts to go awry on top before Mercury goes retrograde, which happens next week. So we're going to start to get a sense of what, our Mercury retrograde story is going to be about on Monday. So after that, the moon joins up with Uranus. Both of them are still in Aries, and that's happening at 7:48 a.m. And the moon's going to go void at that time. So, void moons. When the moon goes void, basically think of it like, let's say, is each of the signs are like outfits. Let's say the moon goes to a clothing store and is wearing its Aries outfit. And so wants to put on its Taurus outfit. So the Aries moon has to go into the dressing room and get naked, take off its clothes. And basically, when the moon is void, the moon's naked. So it's not a good time to, do anything brand new. It's not a good time to start new projects. It's a time of reflection. It's a time to do routine tasks, just work on the things that you're already working on, the things you've already planned out, no brand new stuff. Void moons are also great for when you want to have a tough conversation and you don't necessarily want there to be a huge amount of wrath behind it. Doing things under a void moon is also great for, I hate to say, but like if you wanted to, quit your job or something, quit your job or get rid of a client of some sort, like doing so under the void moon kind of helps alleviate some of that backlash. So, void Aries moon is happening at 7:48 a.m. like I said, Monday morning. And when the moon and Uranus combine, it's big excitement energy, big amounts of energy around the identity, surprises, there's going to be a lot of high powered like type surprises that we're having probably in the next couple weeks, because I mean things are kind of coming to a head. We're heading into eclipse season, so finding yourself in the midst of a lot of conflict, a lot of hard conversations, a lot of conversations that require you to revise what you're working on, will be coming up for sure. With the moon conjunct Uranus, like I said, lots of shocks, lots of surprises. Please be careful around sharp objects. Be careful around fire. Aries is a fire sign. Mind your head. Aries rules the head. So, if something hits you, go to the hospital. Don't delay. Make sure that you're being careful. Then, Aries moon is quincunx Jupiter in Virgo. So, Aries, quincunx Jupiter. Jupiter is a benefic, meaning that it's a planet that benefits or, kind of helps whatever it touches. But with Jupiter being a child of Saturn in the mythology, Jupiter will expand whatever it touches for good or for bad. So if there's something that you've been working on that you may get attention for, and it may kind of expand the details that you may have missed, or it may, expand the praise for the details that you managed to work out. So Aries moon in conjunct, well, quincunx, Jupiter and Virgo is about more adjustment of your identity, that Aries energy, more adjustment of, shifting your mindset. Who are you really? Like, Monday is going to be a day where you wake up and you're like, damn, I'm this new person. And how am I going to integrate this into my daily life? And that's a really important question to ask yourself. Who are you really right now? Like right now, on today, like who are you? And why aren't you allowing yourself to integrate that in your daily life? A lot of us have made some huge shifts, huge changes, and that needs to be reflected in your day to day. And also, it's going to be reflected because the moon's also going to quincunx Mercury directly after it does Jupiter. And that's Jupiter's happening at 11:06 and Mercury's going to happen at 11:18 a.m. So it's going to be about making the shifts in your identity in order to perform better, to get better rewards, and then also shifting your mindset in order to project your new identity and receive those rewards as well. Then at 12:38 p.m., the sun enters Virgo. So it will be officially Virgo season tomorrow. So all you Virgos, it's time to party. But not so fast because it's going to be kind of a rough Virgo season with Mercury being retrograde. I mean, your ruling planet is going to be retrograde for pretty much the whole month. But Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be as stressful and as crazy as you think it does if you are well prepared, organized, and in control. The next month is really going to be about how can you take what you know and what you're doing and work your schedule in a way that's productive but also gets you results and also doesn't burn you out. That's the key. So Sun in Virgo, you're gonna be motivated in order to get your shit together. Like Virgos, if you know any Virgos, they're perfectionists, they're a bit anal sometimes, a little critical, but it's because they're taking, what you have and want to refine it. So don't be afraid to, get your shit together. Like this is the time. September is the new January. If you're trying to get things together for 2017, then consider this, your starting point. It's back to school time. Kids are going back to school. Parents are getting back into their regular routines with their kids. So, routine, structure, planning, order, just using all this earth energy to really ground yourself and to propel yourself into the next level. That's what's going to be important for this particular Virgo season. Um, Later on in the day, we're still on Monday. Um, the moon's going to enter Taurus. So the moon loves being in Taurus. Moon in Taurus is good for, boosting your self-esteem, figuring out how you feel about your resources, your personal income from your own efforts. So making sure that you're doing the work. Are you doing the work? Like it's about doing the work and being present and knowing that you've got this. You have every resource you need to be and do whatever you want. So that's that. And then actually moon into Taurus at 5:19 p.m. FYI. And then shortly after that, the moon trines the sun in Virgo at 5:39 p.m. So, a trine, that is an aspect between two planets that is very harmonious. It's one of the most harmonious aspects that we have, and it allows for us to really kind of get that energy into, complementary energy. Trines happen usually between signs that are of the same element. So, Taurus and Virgo are both earth signs, so they will trine each other. And Capricorn is also an earth sign. So, when those three get together, it forms a grand trine, which is a, triangle. See, there you go. But moon trine sun, that is your emotions being in tune with how you're moving and acting and shining. So, good productive energy. It's a great time to get some work done, great productive energy, very grounding. Um, Also, a good time for a good meal. If you want to have, like, I love Taurus moons for like having a good home cooked meal or going out to eat somewhere, somewhere like a new place or someplace that you really love that really just feels like home and feels comforting. Taurus moon is big on comfort food. So if there's a particular comfort food that you like, Monday night is a great night to go out and really enjoy yourself. And if you're a frugal Virgo type, check out Groupon or Living Social or any other, kind of discounted spots that can get you into a really, really, really nice fine dining place. Well, maybe not a really nice fine dining place with Groupon, but you never know. People be out here trying to get their hustle, get their money going. You never know. But yeah, that's a good night for that to happen. Or if you're a night owl, you like to work, that's a great night to get some good work done. So moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday's a day that's a little bit still a good day to get work done, but also a day to adjust. Let's see. Tuesday. So first thing Tuesday, we've got two quincunxes, which are adjustment aspects. So it's Moon quincunx, um, Mars in Sagittarius, and then Saturn in Sagittarius, and that's happening at 9 a.m. and 9:47 a.m. So with the Moon and Mars, it's important for you to be patient despite the fact that you want to speed and go and do. I natally have Mars in Sagittarius, so I totally understand the energy right now because right now in transits, Mars in Sagittarius. So I'm having a bit of a Mars return. So, learning how to use that energy. It's like, go, go, go. Oh, I want to do this, want to get everything done and blaze ahead. Ah, like that's how I naturally feel inside. But then we have Saturn coming in right after that to kind of like, like pump your brakes and drive slow. Like, could you not? Um, and with both of those aspects happening, it's very much, stop and go, or rather go than stop. Check in with your vision, check in with your resources. Like, how are you feeling? Um, how's your self esteem? Like, what are your resources? What do you consider to be your resources? What are your new resources that you now have? What are some resources you maybe never considered before? What are the resources in your life that can help contribute to your vision? Um, what are the resources that you have within you, but also in your network to help you really crystallize your vision and add structure to it? What are those things? Um, and also checking yourself on how you feel about the income that you're making from the effort that you're exerting. So a lot of times we get caught up in feeling like, oh, I'm just spinning my wheels and nothing's happening. It's just this energy is about learning to work smart. How are you working? Are you well? Are you eating enough? How do you feel? What's your self esteem? What's your self worth? What do you consider to be worthy? Those are the things that really are going to help you figure out, why are we here right now? What's going on? Um, so yeah, what resources do you already have? Make a list if you need to. Get clear. Um, Having clarity about all of these things is what's really going to help you move forward to the next level. So making sure that you're clear on the money that's coming in, the money that's going out. How much is it going to cost to really achieve your vision? You don't have to map it all the way out, but just to start to really think about that and make adjustments. Maybe your vision has changed. And so maybe you need some new resources. So those two aspects in Tuesday morning are to help you make the adjustments necessary for the current vision. At 11:32 a.m., the moon sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So, a sextile is an aspect that provides opportunity or kind of complementary energy. It's where the elements start to mix in with each other. So, like water and earth, and air and fire, like those things usually sextile each other. So, in this instance, we have earth and water, earth Taurus, water Pisces. So Neptune rules Pisces. So Pisces is, kind of strong right now, but it is retrograde currently. But that isn't really something we need to worry too much about. It's something that happens often. We never even really completely notice it. Some people notice it, the Pisces that are pretty sensitive to it and water signs. But it's not something we notice off the top. But that being said, the Taurus moon sextile Neptune and Pisces is asking you to consider, what are your spiritual values, and what are some opportunities for you to pursue through your spirituality, or how do you feel about the opportunities that you're pursuing and the resources that you're accumulating. How does that feel to you spiritually? How do you feel about money spiritually? Because Taurus does deal with money. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love and money. So, the actual real life tangible resources that you have. How does that fit into your spirituality? Do you want more? Do you want less? Do you need to kind of balance it out? Are you a little hazy on how much money you actually have? Maybe it's time to, kind of beef up your money management. These are things to consider with, Moon, sextile Neptune. You also could be very sensitive when it comes to, this Moon, sextile Neptune, sensitive feelings and kind of wanting to, get a bit clearer on how you feel about those things. And it's also fertile ground for you to really start to plant the seeds that will help you pursue your dreams and achieve them and make them real. And then later on in the evening at 6:43 p.m., we have the moon in Taurus, trine Pluto in Capricorn. So that is big, big, big energy. Pluto is super, super intense. And in Big Bad Capricorn, it's, really trying to, get you information and get to work. So like with the moon trine Pluto, it's like, what's the value of power? What's the value of power to you? What does it mean for you to establish yourself as an authority in the world, as an influencer? A lot of people are out here trying to, be their own bosses and entrepreneurs and this and that and bloggers. But it's like, as you establish yourself as a force to be reckoned with, how are you going about it? And what's the value of it to you? What are you willing to do? How does power fit into what you feel about yourself as a person? And how does being an authority in your field, how does that match your self-esteem? And so using this energy, the more effort you put, the more, and Capricorn is all about, cause and effect. It's all about, input versus output. What you put in is what you get out. No more, no less. So if you're really out here putting in this work and you're really, nose to the grindstone, but also taking good care of yourself, you're going to reap the rewards. What's the value of, actually, do you value the power of effort and consistency? Like a lot of people have been talking about consistency, discipline, focus. That's a common thread through astrology and honestly through life. Having that focus, having that discipline, being able to push past your temporary feelings of fear and making it happen. What are you willing to do? Tell me what you're willing to do. Kiss the better, baby. I don't know. But also, if you want to be an influencer, you have to work. You have to get to work. You have to show up to the function. You have to write. You have to post. You have to be there. People have to see your face. They got to know you're there. You have to become a daily part of people's lives. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to do that work, if you're willing to prepare, if you're willing to plan, then you will be rewarded. It's just that simple and it's just that hard. So that's that for Tuesday. Now moving into Wednesday. Wednesday kicks off with the Mercury, not the Mercury, what am I saying? I'm out here losing my marbles, y'all. With Mars conjunct Saturn. So that's happening at 7:26 a.m. on Wednesday, the 24th. Mars conjunct Saturn. Like I said before, Mars conjunct Saturn can feel like stop and go traffic. I have this particular placement natally, so I constantly feel like it's like, oh yeah, turn up, and it's like stop, like what? Like why I gotta stop? Like what is that about? But Mars conjunct Saturn is very much about focusing your fire. Yes, you can have all this unbridled energy and just wild, passionate abandon, but it's not going to mean anything if it's, all over the place. There's a difference between, setting fire to a whole building and lighting a single candle. Like there's a big difference. So, learning how to focus your fire and really take everything that you have and all that knowledge and all that wisdom and all of that morality and all of your beliefs and all of your vision and all of that and really distilling it down and making it plain and laying it out. So Mars conjunct Saturn, that is where enthusiasm meets realism. And it's important for you to temper your energy. It doesn't mean that you have to become a wet blanket, but you need to learn how to adjust the temperature as needed and not get in your feelings about it. And trust me, I am an expert of being square down in the jungle deep of my feelings because I have a first house moon. So there's that. But it's also a really good time to get organized. I do notice with my Mars conjunct Saturn, when I'm really like on my shit and have it together and like have my list and have it prepped and have it ready and done and complete, things go a lot better. I can't help, like, I just, and as much as it pains me, it pains my Aquarian freedom loving heart to admit this, but it's like discipline kind of has to become your friend if you want to really, like, shoot to the moon. So Mars conjunct Saturn, make sure that slow and steady is going to win the race. And the temporary, not the temporary, traditional methods are what's going to work best for Mars conjunct Saturn. So moving on, after that, at 8:06 a.m., the moon trines Venus in Virgo. So moon trine Venus in Virgo, that is good energy around clients who want clarity, who are willing to listen to the good stuff. So sharing the value. So if you sell something, um, make sure that you are communicating the value of what you do. Actually, just under the Taurus moon period, make sure that you're communicating the value of exactly what it is that you offer. Venus rules love and money, but it also rules, relationships, clients, things like that. So making sure that your clients know exactly what you offer, and also that they feel like they're getting their bang for their buck, because they're going to be frugal, they're going to be critical, they're going to be looking, to kind of poke the hole in what you're telling them. So making sure that you do have that value proposition ready, making sure that you're confident, making sure that you're clear, making sure that everything is on the up and up. Um, making sure also romantic partners too, because I did say that Venus rules love as well. So not only business relationships, but personal relationships. It's a good energy for grounding and making sure that you all are on the same page. It doesn't have to be a huge argument or anything, but it's good vibes. You'll feel like you all are in accord and that things are flowing together for all of you. But people are gonna want to see receipts. They're gonna want to know, like, if you say you do graphic design, well, girl, where's your portfolio? If you say that you're the best dog walker on the planet, well, where are your testimonials, girl? Like, how what's happening? So gather your receipts for your customers in time for Wednesday, or just have them in general. Have your receipts on deck for Taurus moons here on out. Just make sure under a Taurus moon that you have your receipts ready to communicate the value of what you do to everybody. Then after that, at 9:21 a.m., the moon is going to sextile Chiron, which is in Pisces. So moon sextile Chiron, that really puts you emotionally in a good space for healing any self-esteem issues that you may have, especially self-esteem issues related to spirituality, or any um, any issues that you may have with people that may have um, kind of been in a bad spot, or um, it's all about transcending. Like, Pisces is transcendent energy, and Pisces is also can take on the energy of other people. So you may be experiencing some wounds that kind of come up from dealing with kind of other people's stuff. So it's a good time for healing for sure. Then at 2:06 p.m., the moon is trine Jupiter in Virgo. Big positive energy. If you're organized, if you're ready to work, knows the grindstone, boom, we're in it. Big opportunities coming from consistent effort. Huge opportunities. Jupiter in Virgo will reward you for, the big payback. Like, if you're really putting in that work, if you're really getting in the nitty gritty, like, sky's the limit. So then right after that, at 3:38 p.m., the moon trines Mercury in Virgo. And that relates to, it's not a time for a major talks or anything, because the moon is going to be void when the moon trines Mercury. But it's good to help you slow down and to start documenting any new ideas that you may have. Again, this is not the time, actually, just period. This upcoming week, and honestly the month of September, is not the time for you to execute on new ideas. If you have any new ideas, write them down in your handy dandy notebook and put them to the side until October. If you do want to work on something new, then it needs to be super, super, super on the low. And it needs to be something that you're not necessarily pushing to launch immediately. Just hold those on the back burner for a moment and save those for October if that's when you want to launch. If you just got to get it out, then okay. But anything new can honestly really wait. We honestly have a whole lot on our plate right now, so we really don't need to worry about that. But make sure that you got your mind right, that your information, that you're organized, that you're ready to go. Um, let's see. Then right after that, well, not right after that, but at 7:40 p.m. the moon enters Gemini. So when the moon is in Gemini, it's time to chat, it's time to talk, it's time to communicate, it's time to, get the message across. Gemini is the communicator, gets the messages to everyone and everything. And Mercury rules Gemini. So Gemini right now is answering to Mercury in Virgo. And our communications are at, people are really kind of going for the gusto, really just saying exactly what they mean, whether we like it or not. So having the moon in Gemini is actually a bit of a relief because we've had that T square happening all year between Saturn and Sag, Neptune and Pisces, and Jupiter and Virgo. And we're about to get some relief from that, at least partially, because later in September, Jupiter is going to move into Libra on September 9th. So that's going to help alleviate a bit of some of that pressure that we've been having thanks to the T square. And with T squares, there's usually three things involved. It's got the T square, it looks kind of like that. And when you look at a chart, you have the T square, the three things going right there, and then there's one that's all the way, on the other side that's not involved really, minding his business, but it's usually what helps us work through the tension in the T square. And in this situation, that tension breaker is Gemini. So communication, see, Mercury retrograde, already working on my mouth. But Moon in Gemini is all about chatting it up. It's also about connecting with your siblings, connecting to your local community. It's all about the people you spend time with the most and the information you all exchange. And then after the moon moves into Gemini at 10:12 p.m., the Venus in Virgo opposes Chiron in Pisces. So this could be like disillusionment in love or disappointment, financial disappointment. So please mind your wallets and mind your heart. But it could be that, you're focused on the flaws, focusing on the wounds and the imbalances and, feeling really critical and kind of a little insecure or unsure of, the amount of reciprocity that you're receiving. Virgo likes to be in service of their lovers. It likes to, serve and be served. So figuring out, kind of, is this really working for me? Or maybe it's a new relationship, or maybe it's the same old relationship, but, you become aware of, exactly what is missing or what's there or what's not. In oppositions, though, that particular aspect is when two planets are opposite one another. Pretty simple. But that energy usually plays out in our relationships no matter what planet is involved. But in this particular situation, Venus, planet of love, money, relationships, is involved. So in this particular instance, this isn't really the best time to, make big, humongous decisions about your love life. Just kind of keep it cool, keep it cute. But pay attention. It's going to make you aware of what you're giving and what you're getting. And then at 11:41 p.m., the moon squares the sun. Both of these, moon's in Gemini and the sun's in Virgo. So both of these planets luminaries are answering to Mercury in Virgo, which is slowing down in order to retrograde next week. So it's a definite, sense of conflict, of tension inside of you about wanting to have fun, but you need to work. It's like work. So you could feel a little restless, you could feel a little overloaded, you could feel pretty anxious. So, Wednesday late night, just rest, relax, try not to think about work. Hopefully, you guys are asleep by then, except for you all on the West Coast. That's going to be 8:41 p.m. for you guys. So that'll be, kind of in the midst of your night. So make sure that you get a lot of rest, get a lot of fluid in. Take a time to really ground yourself and make sure that you're not allowing, the kind of that inner tension of, the Gemini, oh, I feel like I should be doing, I got so much information running around in my head. And then that Virgo, motivation to just go, go, go and do, do, do. Make sure that you slow it down and relax and take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. It's necessary. It's not, it's not something that you can skip. Your wealth is in your health, like truly. Moving on to Thursday the 25th. So this kicks off with more Venus action. Venus quincunxes Uranus and Aries. So when Venus and Uranus meet, it's usually a lot of surprise energy. It could also be breakup energy. Please don't, if you're not really about that life, don't break up on Thursday. Just chill out. It'll be fine. Venus in conjunct Aries happens, well, quincunx Aries happens at 5:08 a.m. That's Eastern time still. It's not a time to impulse spend, not a time for you to, renege on commitment. I mean, it could be a time that people renege on their commitments to you or service. You could feel like you need to have more fun. You're tired of being, bogged down in all this order and structure and bullshit. And it's like, I don't want to work. I just want to have fun and be crazy. But we don't have time for that. So, it's not enough. Like the irritation that you may feel from that aspect Thursday morning isn't really enough for you to like completely, change everything. So, don't trip off that too much. And then the rest of the day is really about, solving those T-square issues with communication. It starts with, and I'm not going to lie, like Thursday is going to kind of be a bit of a rough day energetically. It's a few oppositions, some squares, some, quincunxes, some adjustment. Like Thursday's not really going to feel all too good. So just prepare yourself for that. 12:29 p.m. The moon will oppose Saturn in Sag, and then at 1:34 p.m. the moon will oppose Mars in Sag. So with those two going on, not the time for major commitments, not the time for you to, bank on something that you think is a sure thing. Like this isn't the energy for sure things. That energy was probably earlier, this month. The Leo new moon is very, grounding, really good energy for, planting seeds for something that may last. But this week, not so much. So, not the time for major commitments. You could end up making a commitment to something or someone, but it may not last. So take that as you will. Especially under a Gemini moon. Gemini is very restless. Gemini is, very likes variety. It likes, to, kind of flip from one flower to the other and just kind of be, into whatever's next and fun. So, you may find that it's just not gonna work. And it could also be that you see the consequences of communicating your beliefs. So like when you're out there, shouting to the rooftops about, oh, well, I think this and I think that and this and the third, be careful because you could end up on the Summer Jam screen. Just be mindful of what you say, how you say it, and who you say it to, and on what medium you say it on, because Gemini energy is also, Gemini likes to gossip. Gemini likes the tea. And so, make sure that you're being diligent about how you present yourself and what you put your energy toward on Thursday. Especially with that moon opposite Mars, you could be too quick to act on a situation. So just slow down. Ease up. It's okay. Don't trip. Something may happen between you and someone or, maybe a significant other or something, and you're ready to just, pop off. Like, no, Just take a breath, simmer down, be cool, and just slow down, take it from there, okay? Um, then we have at 2:06 p.m. the moon square Neptune. So moon square Neptune, that could be, squares represent conflict, tension, usually happening all up inside of here. So you could be pretty sensitive, pretty much in a mood to escape. It's a good time to maybe, watch a movie or something, just kind of chill out, enjoy yourself. Um, you may be at work during that time, so I don't know how good watching a movie is during that time, but Moon in Gemini is great for, just kind of getting your mind right, getting the administrative things done. Um, yes, administrative things are associated with Virgo, but both of them are ruled by Mercury, and it's all about organizing information. So Gemini collects the information and Virgo organizes it. So there you go. Um, then at 9:29 p.m., we have the moon in Gemini, quincunx Pluto in Capricorn. So with that, it's going to be adjusting your communication to reflect the new messaging or new position as an authority in your field. So if you are, you know, if you've really made an effort to just be the best at what you're doing, like you've been really just getting your Pokemon Master training going, and you just, out here catching all these Pokemon, and you just baddest damn Pokemon Master on the planet, it's time for you to put it in your copy, put it in your sales. Gemini rules, Mercury rules sales and commerce. So by extension, Gemini counts with that. It's about trade, um, trade, sales, commerce, all of that. So even though Thursday is a crazy day, if you can just jot some notes down Thursday evening, some the ideas may come to you. Again, nothing you need to completely take. Just knock the reins off, and go for it. But just write down the ideas, um, and also just adjusting your communication with yourself about who you are now. Like you've grown, you've